Hey everybody, in today's video I'm going to talk with you about the steps required to book yourself out on a speaking tour. This tends to be something that most speakers think is very difficult, but the recipe to do it properly and effectively is easier than you think. Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. So, exciting topic to share, especially given the challenges of COVID over the last year. I want to share with you our process for booking a speaking tour. Now, a lot of speakers that I talk to go through, a speaking broker, somebody that takes 30% of the fees in order to book a tour. And what I've seen in those tours that get booked is they're normally not great. You tend to backtrack, back and forth between cities, more at the will of what conferences are happening rather than going out and developing speaking opportunities for yourself. So today's video is really in the context of a speaker going out and planning their own speaking tour, which I'm telling you is much easier to manage and to perform on than the traditional model. Now, I've been a touring speaker since 2003, so I guess we're coming up to, let's say, 18 years. Oof. Like the time goes by fast. And that first tour was actually booked by a friend of mine who is a publicist, not a speaking broker. She was able to book me in 47 cities, basically over a 5-day period. So it took her 5 days to book a 47 city tour that had me out on tour for 3 months, right? 3 months away from home out touring. Now this was pre-kids and all of that stuff, so very easy to do. Today, I normally go out on tour for anywhere between 2 weeks and 2 months. I tend to like to be out a little bit longer and then have time at home. I used to go out for a week or two, come home for a week, go out for a week or two, come home for a week. That was really challenging. And I can remember for about 2007, I guess, when What Men Don't Tell Women came out, every Sunday night I would fly out and every Friday morning I would fly home. And I did this for months and it was a bit too much. Now, having spoken for, like I said, 17, 18 years as a professional, I really feel like we have the secret sauce on how to do it. So let's jump right into it, because there are few pleasures greater than choosing an area to tour at the time of the year you want to tour there, talking to audiences that you choose, not that just happen to be available. So let's jump into step number one. The first step that you want to do when booking your own tour is you book dates. I like to tour in the spring and I like to tour in the fall. And so my spring window is normally like the 15th to 20th of January until the middle of May-ish. And again, I'm not out for that whole time, but that might be the perimeter that I kind of start to book within. And I might do a Pacific tour for the first month, come home for a bit, do the Atlantic coast for a month, come home for a bit, and so on. So I like that spring tour. And then in the fall, it's normally the third week of September till about the middle of November is when lots of speaking opportunities come up. That said, back during Canada's 150th birthday, I planned a cross-Canada tour. So it started in Vancouver and it finished in Charlottetown. And I think I hit about 35 cities over 90 days. Took the family with me, so they got to see most of the country as well. We would go to cities and I would work for an hour or two, and then we would have a day or two in the city. So it was actually a nice way. Summers are not normally my preferred time to tour, but in that situation, it made sense. And even now in 2021, not knowing what COVID is going to do and the inability to leave the country, if things are under control by the summer, I may actually do a cross-Canada tour again this summer just to warm up for next year. Step number two is once you've chosen the dates, then choose your trap line. So trap line is a slang that we use for the geographical area that you're going to tour. So I just shared with you a trap line across Canada, starts in Vancouver, finishes in Charlottetown for me, but you could do an Alberta tour, you could do a Washington State tour. I like to do a Pacific tour, which is Bellingham, Seattle, Portland, Eugene, Medford, sometimes Eureka, California, which is a cool place. Plus there's an In-N-Out burger there, Yummy. Which is a whole different story. Sacramento, San Francisco, Silicon Valley, and then I'll work my way down the coast through all the Santas, including Santa Barbara, and then finishing with Los Angeles and San Diego. That's the trap line. Atlantic, I might do Boston, New Haven, Hartford, New York City, Philadelphia, and on and on and on. So I have a geographical area that I like to do. Because I live on the West Coast, I tend to drive the West Coast. When I'm on the East Coast, I fly to the East Coast and then I normally take a train and then fly home. So step 1 is choosing your dates. Step 2 is choosing your trap line or your geographical area that you want to tour. Step 3 is within each city or town that you're going to visit, start to make a list of targets. People that could book you for a presentation. This could be organizations, this could be companies, this could be associations. Normally groups that are interested in the work or topic that you speak on. Google is your friend here. Put in the city and then put in the organization and it'll pop out opportunities or associations or organizations that would fit what you do. I am regularly surprised by how many options come up because of this. Step 4 is once you have that list of targets, right, people that you want to hunt into and get potential speaking gigs with, then all you have to do is reach out to them. Remember that good speakers are in short demand. I find myself getting booked every other year by certain organizations and companies because they have a hard time finding engaging speakers. And so they're not doing a favor to you by hearing about you. You're doing them a favor because you're saving them time to go out and try to find speakers that might fit what they're trying to do. Once you have started to have that conversation, you just start to engage with your normal sales process. What you do, why it matters, who cares, link up here. The niche markets that you're targeting, link up here to that video, and starting your pursuit of them as a client like you would any other client. Let them know you exist and let them know you're good at what you do. The best way to do that is to share with them your speaking topics, your speaker's package if you have one, a demo reel if you have one, your speaking contract if you have one, and my favorite, which works wonders, is a copy of your book or books, depending on the topic that you're pitching. I also like to remind the targets that because I am on tour, there is no travel and no accommodation requirements as part of the speaking fees. And if they can do the date that I'm in that particular town, because I've already chosen, I will give them a preferred rate. Now, when I talk about the dates that I've chosen, I wouldn't go from Seattle to Portland to Sacramento back to Portland. I choose the dates that I'm going to be out and the days I'm going to be in each city. And then I try to get that organization to book on that date that I'm in town. And what you'll find is even groups that, let's say that they normally meet on Thursdays, if they have a traveling speaker / author coming into town, that month they may choose to meet on a Tuesday rather than a Thursday because that's when you're available. The next step is once I've had the conversation with them, which is a sales conversation, then I get them the materials. And so I send them out the materials. I might send them a physical copy of the book. And I tell them that I'm going to follow up with them in a week to 10 days to give them time to think about it. As well, because I'm going to be booking events in those cities, I let them know, if you're interested, please let me know as I'm going to be talking to other organizations. And if somebody books me before you do, we'll look to see if you might be able to do a joint event with them. And that's how you do it. Dates are going to be out, where you're going to go, targets that are in those cities, have the conversation, send them materials, book the opportunities. When things go back to being in person, this is a bulletproof strategy that I'm going to heavily encourage you to follow, as it has served me well for the last 17 years. Anyway, as always, thanks for watching the video. If you have any questions, you can put them in the comments below. For you, remember that gladiators eat first, and they simplify the process of being a paid speaker by coming up with a process which I've just given you today that takes the guesswork of how to book out a tour. Do not give 30% to a speaking broker. This is all stuff that you can do internally. Anyways, if you haven't subscribed, consider doing so, and I will see you in the next video.